What's up, everybody? It's your girl Tiffany back here on the Positive Black Space. If you're new here, I want to say welcome and thank you for joining us today. Please, if you stick around and you enjoy the content, I want you to subscribe to the channel. We have so much coming up for you, and we know that you're going to be empowered and uplifted by it. Also, you can reach us on our social media platforms on IG and Facebook at the Positive Black Space. And we would love to converse with you there and just have conversation. The topics that we talk about here, we'll have a post and you can talk to us there every single day. So today we have a wonderful guest on our show that is here to just tell us about her life. And because we're doing the series on taking leaps of faith, I thought she would be great to come on here and just tell us about her life and her journey to where she is today. She is a social worker in the Inland Empire. She got her bachelor's degree from UNLV and her master's from USC. Come on now, she is an educated Black queen, and we are so excited that you took the time to come and be a part of the show today. So is there anything that I left out or anything that you want to add to your bio and who you are, the beautiful Monique Cook?
Thank you. No, I think you got everything, but I do appreciate all the kind words.
Okay, all right. You know, she's humble too, okay? That's what we have, people that are humble, but really are pursuing their dreams and their life goal. And that's what it's about. That's why we started this series on here, because I feel like there's so many of us in the world that on every day are pursuing our dreams and goals, even though we see in the media, images of us that's negative, or saying that we're all doing nothing with our lives or whatever the case may be. But you pursued your career and going after your goals and your dreams very early on, right?
Yes.
So let's just start going back to when you were young. Like what dreams or aspirations that you have, and is it like what you're living now, or did it change? Or let's kind of try to talk about what that was like growing up, what you saw yourself being, and where it is today. Like, is it totally opposite, or is it something that you just aspire to?
Okay. So, like every kid, you dream to be a doctor, a teacher.
Right.
So, yeah, it's way off. I didn't make those dreams. I ended up, I think it was my sophomore year in college. I knew what a social worker was, but I didn't know you can actually have a career as a social worker.
Right.
So I went into college wanting to be a psychologist. I was like, oh, this is cool. But I took my first psychology class, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be in nobody's head. That is weird.
Yeah.
So then my counselor was like, well, maybe try social work. I was like, social work? So I gave it a try. I took the first course, and I loved it instantly. I was like, okay, I can help people. I don't have to draw blood. I don't have to see my mouth. This is amazing. So I loved it. So I went on and I pursued my bachelor's in social work. I did that in 4 years, and then later I took 1 year program to get my master's at USC. So they call that accelerated program, and that's where I kind of honed in, and I want to work with children, youth, and families, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Wow, that's major. That's really dope. And when you went for your just deciding to go to school and go for your master's, because I feel like when you go for your bachelor's degree, I mean, that's kind of expected of us.
Right.
Like, okay, you go to college, do your 4 years. What was that process like for you, and finding a school? And because we know USC is a great school,
right.
Like all the stressors behind going to college and then deciding to go ahead. Because I just stopped at a bachelor's because I was like, I'm not. That's not for everybody. So I want to just talk about the journey of really making even that decision.
Okay, so bachelor level social work. To be honest with you guys, there's no money in it. And I'm not doing this to be broke. We all have to live. So my first thing was, what can I do to better myself, but also put myself in a better position? And getting my master's degree was that. So master's level social work, it made me more profitable. And with that being said, I was able to get a job right out of school. Of course, Trojans, they look out for their own, which is really great. USC, But no, seriously, getting my master's made me very profitable, and everyone when I was looking for jobs, I was kind of like, oh, we want her. And so with that going forward, I was like, okay, look at this. It's like it made me feel like I wasn't. I ain't gonna lie, USC was very expensive. But it made my debt worth it, if that makes any sense to you. Like getting a job in my field really meant a lot. Like I did an internship with the job that I have now, and they just hired me on immediately, which was really great because I kind of already got my feet wet. But having a master's, like I said, more profitable, and also I was able to negotiate pay.
That's good.
That's for me was something like, okay, I'm not going to have a master's degree and still try to make $40,000 a year. Like that doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. So when you have that, you can go in and say, well, look, this is my worth. Are you going to pay me my worth? If not, I'm going to go ahead and look elsewhere.
Also, I want to talk about something that you said about your debt being worth it. Because I know there's people out there that are maybe thinking about going to school and aspiring to higher education. And we know for our community, a lot of us don't come from, a lot of money, or our families, we might be our first generation in our immediate family to go to college. And we might come from parents that they just worked and they did the best they could, but weren't able to provide us with a college fund right after you graduate high school. Most of us have to figure out, what that's like. I want you to talk about how pushing past the intimidation of the cost of it, and what and looking at, weighing out, what is that, how is it going to benefit my life? Like, instead of just thinking of it, oh, it costs so much, I got to give up on that dream. Because people will think that money can stop, not having money or access to money is a factor that stops them from pushing forward to going for their dreams and their goals. So talk about, like, how did that, thinking about that in that way, if you could describe that to people, like, how did that help you changing, your mindset about it?
Well, going to school, just to take it back, I was the first kid that my mom put through school. I'm the youngest of 3, and so my older 2 sisters, they didn't go directly to a 4-year college, so we didn't know the way.
Right.
We had a family friend who put all 3 of her daughters through school that kind of then helped my mom to put me through school. So it was a lot of scholarships. I mean, I was writing essays left and right. But I can honestly say every essay was worth it, especially with my bachelor's degree. I mean, I was writing essays the whole summer. Yeah. It was like a job, but it all paid off. Yeah. I walked out of there not in debt for getting my bachelor's. Yeah. And it kind of helped me even with my master's, because now I knew what scholarships to apply for. I knew what questions to ask the guidance counselor. Like, hey, I'm not telling her I'm not the richest, or trying to describe my story, but saying, hey, I know, is there money? There's some type of fund put away where I can go ahead and apply for a scholarship. And so then they send you a link. There's scholarships that will pay your entire schooling. Yeah. You just got to put in the work. You have to write the essay. You have to go to the conference.
I want you to say that again. You have to put in the what?
Yes, you have to put in the work.
Okay. Because a lot of people will just stop at, I don't know. Yeah. And that's something that will stop you from reaching where your potential. Because just, I don't know, is never to me an excuse, especially when you got Google out here. Like, you have Google out here, we use it for everything else. Why wouldn't we use, that to expand ourselves? And also, what was important in what you were saying is someone started talking to you and helping, and not being afraid to ask for help. Yes. Like, that's important too. When you say, like, just asking for the help, because you don't know, like, but I can go out and ask. Right. They say closed mouth don't get fed. So, like, really, what was that like, just asking for the help? How influential was that for you?
It was very influential, because the simple fact is, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I was like, oh, they're not telling me no. I have to have this sad story so that they can help me. Yeah. And I'm like, that ain't my story. I'm going to go in here with confidence. And my mom was like, just tell them who you are. Just tell them, because when you are trying to apply for scholarship, it's all telling the story of who you are. What makes you better than the next person? Yeah. Why should we give you this amount of money? So I just learned to just be very authentic. Yeah. And be myself and tell them. And with that, like I said, asking somebody for help, it was like, what do I put in this essay? What do I write? What should I keep out? Is there something that they don't need to know? And so I had someone help me. It was a mentor.
Yeah.
She was like, look, I wouldn't have said that. Or if you want to say this, say it in a different way. And she taught me how to write for someone who is reading. They don't know you.
Right.
They're trying to get to know you through a piece of paper, through what they're reading. So you have to be very vivid and truly express who you are, but not at the same time seem like some people just need the money. Like, oh, I'm going to take the money. Don't even use money for school. Like, you have to really put in, like, a game plan and show, like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and she cast my vote. And that's how you know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that you're saying this, because I feel like people get, especially young people,
mm-hmm.
you know, we can get caught up in just our circumstances and just seeing the world from our own little square.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? World so vast, it's so big,
mm-hmm.
but what you experience every day is all you see.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, understanding that there's something more,
right.
and that you can get to it. It just takes work, like you said, and it also takes you opening your mouth and asking for help, and that's all a part of the process of getting to where you want to know, because we don't where you want to go, mm-hmm. because we don't know, like, you didn't know what the outcome was going to be. Like when you said, that's a leap of faith in itself to say, mm-hmm. I'm gonna write this essay and I'm going to believe mm-hmm. what you told me to do is going to work.
Right.
I'm going to try it, because what do I have to lose?
Right.
Like,
mm-hmm.
what do I have to lose? I need the money.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to school, and I need this door open. So what am I going to lose by doing that? And so, do you feel like that was one of the first steps that you ever, just in your scholastic career, of stepping out on faith on your own? You have to do it on your own, because your mom couldn't do it for you.
Oh, yeah.
You had to do it.
I had to. Yeah, it was really a leap of faith, but it was scary. It was like, man, there's 500 people going for this same scholarship. What's going to make my story stand out?
Yeah.
And it was a lot of praying for me. It was like, God,
yeah,
you going to get me through this, because you always do.
Yeah.
So it was just, and that honestly, like, talking about leap of faith, that made me build my faith in God at the same time. So I'm like, look, I know there's a God. I know He said He's going to do what He says He's going to do.
Yeah.
So I know that it's mine. And so it literally challenged me both ways. Take leap of faith in just writing the essay, but also take a leap of faith with God.
Yeah.
Trusting Him that He was going to do what He said He's going to do.
And believing that, like, when you said you're believing that He said He was going to do what He said He's going to do what He said He's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that also, but also you did work. Because of faith without works is dead, guys. Mm-hmm. So you have to put some form of work. So you had to put pen to paper.
Oh, yeah.
You had to take that paper and turn it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a part of the process. We can't just sit and be like, oh, drop it from the sky, Lord. Like, somebody will come with $100K and just pay for my school. And that's, it might. I mean, miracles happen, but truly it don't happen all the time like that. Like, it takes work.
Yeah.
And so understanding you putting your faith and your work together and look at the outcome. Now you're here at this place in your life. Mm-hmm. Got your master's degree, right? Are working in a field that you were like, this is now what I want to do.
Right. Uh-huh.
And you're not just, I'm just going by, you're thriving in it.
Yes.
You're successful. Let's talk about, now you're out of school, got your master's degree. Let's talk about, like, where you are now in your career. Okay. And just what is it like for you? Just being also, we'll get to this. I'll just answer that, what it's like for you right now.
Okay.
And in the field that you're in, going into your career, first starting out, because how many years has it been since?
It's
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
What has this 2 years been like? You know, where are you now? And let's just, expound on that.
Okay. So these last 2 years have literally been a journey, because I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. I ended up in foster care as a foster care social worker, and I loved it. I thought I wanted to do CPS, but I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
So I do truly love being a foster care social worker and what that entails. Right now, that's my main job, mm-hmm. but I'm going for my LCSW. So right now I'm getting my hours so I can become a licensed clinical social worker.
Okay, I was about to say, tell the people what an LCSW is, because they're gonna be like, wait, a what? So what is it again?
A licensed clinical social worker.
Okay.
So now I do therapy. I work with mental health clients. This is a challenge. I've never worked with mental health before, so this is just a new avenue in my career that I'm just trying to navigate through. And I can honestly say that it's rewarding. I just have to come yeah, like I said, over like different counter transference that I have with certain clients. Like I'm like, oh, I can see a young kid that I know when as I'm doing therapy, and I have to be able to take a step back and say, okay, you can't see that kid. You have to see this kid for who they are. So that is a challenge that I'm just overcoming as I work through it, being a mental health therapist. But other than that, yeah, it's my purpose.
So you're working towards being a mental health therapist, and I want to talk about how important it is, because we know that now we see like there's a big surge of the conversation about mental health and the Black community, because we know it's been like a taboo subject amongst us for so many years growing up in our communities, but we've all had dealt with someone with mental health issues, even in our families, you know what I mean? Somebody somewhere, or a friend, someone that has it or has to deal with some form of it.
Right.
With that, what is that like for you now? Like just going now, because you're just easing into this to this career, but it's vital and important to see Black faces on the other side of the table when you're coming in. How important do you think that is?
It's very important. I get clients who say, you're like me. They can see the skin color, or either I'm female, but if they can truly see me in themselves, and that's how we connect. And it's a beautiful thing, because growing up, I used to see people say, you ain't crazy, you don't need no therapy, because parents would tell their kids that, and so then their kids end up being crazy.
Yeah.
Or going through something, and they're like, if you would just listen, or if you would just hear me, if you just get me the therapist that I needed, and so seeing Black kids right now as I'm their therapist, I just see that they're getting the help that they need, and they can see me, they can trust me, because it's all about trust.
Yeah.
Sometimes I walk in there like, are you going to judge me, or are you going to help me?
Right.
So which one are you going to do? And just being able to offer that help and listen. Listening is key, because everybody's story is different, but somebody didn't listen to them.
Right.
So they're trying to test and see if you're going to listen.
Yeah.
Are you going to be different than the last person? Although we have the same skin, they try to find some type of commonality between the two of us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're like, look, if I tell you something, are you going back and tell? And it's like, okay, I see you. You're testing me, and that's okay. You're trying to test if you can trust me, or if I understand your situation, and that's fine. But at the same time, as a Black therapist, I'm doing the same thing to the client. I'm still trying to fill you out and understand who you are as a whole person.
Right.
Yes, what I might diagnose you with might be one thing, but that doesn't dictate who you are. So I want to know and encompass exactly everything that you are as an individual. So that's, for me right now, that's a challenge from the Black therapist side. Being on the other side of the table, having to go ahead and write pen and paper. It's like, okay, yeah, they show these type of symptoms, but who are you outside of that?
Right.
What background do you come from? And just trying to understand that and understand this part of them is why they have this part. So you have to kind of peel them back like a banana.
Yeah.
And then rebuild them back over again.
And walking into this career, because I know that's a journey and a leap of faith, because you, number one, what like you don't have a compass for it, and it's we don't see a lot of us in that field, correct? And then you're young too on top of that. So what has that been like, just having to overcome not necessarily that you don't have people to help you, but not having that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's different when you have somebody to go before you that you kind of like can glean from, but seeing, like, being in a career that not a lot of us are represented in, how has that affected you, or you have to any ideas of in your own mind that you have to overcome as far as how you're perceived? Because we still have cultural things, even as the professional, dealing with other colleagues, explaining things to them about your Black clients that they may not fully understand, and the perception that you make it. What is that like?
Because I'm new to the mental health side and trying to encompass everything that's going on, and just in that field alone, it's a lot. Yeah. And so I had an incident. I was asking a colleague for help and trying to understand their perspective. They've been doing it a little bit longer than me. And it was like, well, if you just do this, you'll be all right. But I'm just like, I don't want to just do it that way. Right. I want to be effective. So I was like, okay, I can ask you. But then I went to somebody else, us understands, And then I got a different answer, a different outcome. And it was like, okay. So then I tried that technique and it ended up working with the client that I was working with. So I think it just, in general, maybe they just see it as just a job. And as well, I see it as not just my job, but I'm affecting somebody's life.
Right. Right.
I can't just go sleep at night. Okay, I did my job. Like, no. Whatever I say or whatever I, write on paper, I send to a judge, it's going to affect the next person.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, okay, you got your LCSW. You're the one who go ahead with the school for all this. We don't believe what you're saying. And I want to make sure that that's the right information that I'm getting.
And you want change.
Yes.
Ultimately what we need, and it's important. And that's what I want to talk about, because people, you might go into fields and areas where it may be something that you've never experienced before, something that you've never done before, but you can't allow fear to stop you from the unknown.
Right.
So let's talk about like what fears you had to overcome getting to where you are right now in your career, like just any fears and even stepping into this new portion of, your career goals or what you're going after. What fears or anxieties or worries try to come upon you before you walked into this?
The fear of not being able to be a good social worker. So, we see on the news all the time, social workers are labeled as not doing their job, or they're not doing stuff. So my fear was like, I don't want that to be me. I want to do my job. Right. So I think I made myself a perfectionist. I was like, nope, I ain't messing up on this. I'm going to be on top of this paperwork. Oh, nope, that's due. Okay, I'm going to do it 2 weeks early. Like, I was trying so hard not to fail. I think that was another one of my fears, to be a failure in the field of social work and not doing my job in my best ability. Yeah. But doing that and having that fear of failure, I ended up failing on too. And I was like, well, thank you. I guess I had to experience that to be a better social worker. So I'm not breaking my neck like, okay, I got to get this done. Now I can do it with ease. Like, okay, this is due. Okay, cool. And
you saying that, because that makes sense. I'll just pinning right there, like we can try to be a perfectionist and mess around and mess all the way up. Like thinking that you're doing it all right and you're all wrong because you're missing the point. So that's a good thing to talk about, that failure can actually catapult you to being greater at what you're trying to achieve. Right. Because if you don't fail once or twice, then you like, now I know I can eliminate that. Like, okay, don't do that anymore. Or you need to learn from this so you can grow. We know that failure in life, every part of it helps us grow. So when you saying that, I think that's valuable. Like for people to understand and know that who's perfect in the world? Like who's going? How are you? And then most people's experience, I know, and from what I've learned or seen with social work, you can experience burnout trying to do that.
You can.
Really quick. And what was that like? Like, were you close to that?
Oh yes, because I was trying to please everybody. I was trying to please everybody, and I was not able to do my job effectively. Like I remember I had a client. He asked me weeks, maybe months, to help him with something. But I forgot about it. So I put him to the end, and I was trying to do everything else. And he's like, Miss Monique, did you ever? And I just kept on. I see my excuse list is growing longer and longer and longer. And I said, oh, no. Yeah. I'm trying to please everybody else. It's nothing against him. I didn't prioritize myself right. Right. And so I was burnt out. I was like, oh, I can't do this job. I've only been here a year. My job just got in. I'm learning better self-care skills. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to learn from this.
That's good.
So I took that situation. I turned it around. I was months late on helping him, but I set myself a goal to help him.
That's good.
And it sounds weird, but I had to ask my client for forgiveness. And that was just for me. I was like, I'm sorry. Can you forgive me for I was just literally putting it on him. Oh, I'll do it later. He just need it. Yeah. To the point where it's like, hey, I had to come for myself. Literally, really, it's like, honey, you are not going to be effective if you do not help yourself set a schedule, but also help everybody. You just can't try to be busy bee. That's what I was being.
You can't do it all.
I was like, okay, learn how to delegate. So I had to learn how to delegate, and I was able then to be effective and to help my clients, all of them, Because, you know, we don't carry small caseloads. So it's like, it's one of me, a whole bunch of y'all.
And how did that help you in life? I want to, because I want to, things that we learn in our career or in like it'll help us throughout our life. Understanding that, because I want, you know, you out there to understand that you can't do it all. And when you're taking, especially when we're taking leaps of faith, when we're trying to do something or achieve a career, achieve a goal, whatever the case, going after our dreams. And some of it's so big, it's like, I want to do all of that. Like, let me work on every aspect of it. And you have to slow down, like I say, hold up. Like, I can't, you literally be like, you'll either halt and completely stop because it's too much,
right? Or
you'll just mess completely up. So how did it help you in life? I want to talk about that too, like just your everyday life, learning that lesson in your career.
It taught me to slow down and examine every situation for what it is.
Right.
It taught me how to say no. We need to say no. Not gonna take extra tasks. Just say no and be okay with that, and walk away saying, okay, I can say no. Because sometimes,
listen, okay, stop right there. Don't pass over that, Jim, because I feel like people need to understand the power of saying no to certain things, especially when it doesn't serve the purposes of your dreams, of your goal. It doesn't serve the purposes of where you want to get to, and walking away, with the no.
Yes, and that's hard. I'll tell you about it. I was trying to please everybody, but I had to learn how to say no. Yeah, and be okay with it. Walk in work and be like, oh, hey y'all. Yeah, and I was still saying no when someone asked me to do something, but it helped me in my life also to be a better social worker, a better daughter, you know, sister, friend. Yeah, it helped me in those areas. So it was literally a life lesson. Yeah, and in that, and you walking away, you still got your job, right? Yes, I do. You still got a successful career. Right. You're still going after your dreams. I think people, you know, when you are, I don't think people really understand the weight of being a people pleaser to that extent can have on us, you know. And that's a part, when you're trying to go for your dreams and goals, sometimes it's not easy for you to say no, but it's effective. Right. It's effective for you going forward because it's necessary sometimes. It's just you can't do it. Like I can't do that and this and this and that, and understanding. And when you said delegate, that's another thing. Delegating tasks to people, like, dude, you can do that. Yeah. It's okay. I'll be all right. I don't have to. I don't have to have my hands in everything. You know what I mean? And so I thought that was very important and powerful because people really need to understand the power of that. And that will help you be sane. Oh, yeah. It sure will. Because you're trying to please everybody around you. And so, like you said, you learned that and it helped you in life. How have you grown as a person? Like, what do you think, how have you grown since you started working in social work, like far as career wise? How do you feel like you've grown or blossomed in this process? I feel like I've grown to be a better person, especially when I'm not listening to respond, but listening to understand. That's good. I was never taught that. They don't teach you that in school. So I was always just, I got an answer, you know, just trying to talk. And so actually listening to understand what someone else is going through and hearing what they're saying. Sometimes it's like, I'm going to listen to you, but I really don't want to hear that. Yeah. So I literally focus in and listen. And listening is really valuable. Like, it's really key, especially for me, for someone who's just like, listen, I pray listen to a teacher when they talk. So actually having to sit there and listen, I truly think that is what's helped me grow. Because now I can have conversation. That's good. And I feel like because I listen to people, that I'm being heard. Yes. When it's my turn to talk, I want the same respect. That's valuable. So that's valuable. Listening to understand. Take that key. Because, you know, we can, when you listen to respond, you miss moments. You miss, like, really connecting, that connection to say, I just want to know what I may not agree with you on every topic or every subject. That doesn't matter.
Like, the thing is, we need to get to understanding. Right. We need to get to that level. And I think that's very, very valuable. Mm-hmm. So you feel like you've grown in that area.
In that area.
Definitely. So where are you, or where do you see yourself going in the future? What is the future endeavors? What are the future goals? Or next leaps of faith, I should say.
I still want to stay in the mental health field. Mm-hmm. I want to get my LCSW, which should be completed in 2 years. And I think I want to go ahead and work with adults, maybe at Patton.
Okay. Listen. Okay, so if you don't know what Patton is, Patton is a state hospital. Yes. It's totally different than what you've been doing now, for sure. Mm-hmm. And it's a new challenge. So, what are your concerns even thinking about that? Like, what are you thinking? Like, what concerns comes up for you for that?
I'm working with adults. I never work with adults, but if you think about it, I work with children. They have parents. I work with adults, but not in that type of aspect. So I think working with the mentally insane adults is going to be a challenge for me, trying to adjust. But I'm ready. I want to take it on. It's something that I know I can do, and I know I can be effective in, and I know I can affect change in that area. So I want to change the stigma of mental health, and I believe that I am an agent of change.
All
so
right.
I truly think that that's where God is taking me. If that changes, then it changes. But right now, He has me stuck on that goal. So
and looking back, because I want to talk about how life prepares us for moments. Mm-hmm. So do you feel like the moments that led you up to this point is pushing you towards your future goal? Like, what you experienced prepared you for right now?
Yes, of course. Everything that I've experienced in my past, all my internships, all my schooling, and even my work experience prepared me to where I'm at and where I want to go. Mm-hmm. So what I do, I always look to find someone to mentor me who's been in the field where I want to go.
That's good.
I have a mentor right now who has her LCSW, did the mentally insane, did hospital, she did it all, and I'm just like trying to take up and soak up everything she could teach me, because I'm like, okay, I want to go where you went. Like, I really want to go and encompass that.
That's important. That's powerful, because a lot of people may not have access to, I want to say they might not have access to a counselor or someone that can just, they can pay for help for. But if you can get someone a mentor or someone, how important do you feel that helped you with going for your dreams, having someone in your corner, even if it's a different person at a different time in your life? Because mentors can change, varying where you are in life. How important was that for you?
Having a mentor is very important because it kept me accountable.
That's good.
I had a mentor at first who didn't even work in the field of social work, just a mentor, but literally helped me to be a better person. Shared life experience with me. We found out that we went through the same thing, just 2 different outcomes. But it was beautiful to know that I can have that connection. Yeah. And then actually having someone in the field of social work and taking on the workload, understanding my workload. Because sometimes people don't understand social work. They have a one-track mind, like, oh, y'all take kids away. No, we do much more. So having someone who actually went through what I'm going through right now and can lead and guide me is beautiful. It's like, thank you. Where were you all my life?
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
So mentorship, I truly, if y'all watching, get a mentor, because it's truly helpful.
Yeah, now I want to talk about that, because the power of having real support in your life will help you go for your dreams and what you thought or what you may think is bigger than you or too big, or I don't know if I'm going to do it. When you have that support, even if it's one person, or even if it's a group of people, you're blessed for sure when you have a lot of people that support you. But just even having that one person and being open to that. It's not lame, it's not, it's not whack if you have somebody.
Right, no.
And I say preferably a mentor older than you, because they've been in life. They know where, they've lived it. Right. And I know for people that are young, do you mind saying your age? How old are you, Monique?
25.
So 25 years old, look, got our masters. How important, like, these people kept you on thinking about your goals, right? Yes. Focused to get here at 25 years old.
Oh, yeah.
at the place you are in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So how important was, like, you talked about how important mentorship is, but just to get out of your own way and say, hey, like, what made you feel comfortable enough to say, I do need that. Like, I know I do.
Yeah, for me, I kind of test and try my mentor. Like, let me see if I can trust her. So,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like, well, let me see, I'm going to tell her something if she tell everybody else. I was just trying to test her to see if I can build that bond of trust. And I did. It was just me being a kid, not really just, wanting to trust her off the back and just giving her a hard time. But she challenged me also.
Mm-hmm.
As I was challenging her, she was challenging me for her trust. And so I think that was beautiful because at the end of the day, we both had the same goal here. We kind of use the same schemes and tactics, but our main goal was to better each other. And I appreciated my mentor even taking advice from me. I wasn't too young to give advice. I wasn't too young that she would listen. So she was like, oh, that's good. Thank you. And to this day, she still, like, we can talk and have conversation. And I don't feel like what I'm saying to her is in vain. Like, she honestly listens to what I'm saying. And like, she has a daughter now. She's like, help me.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a beautiful thing. I mean, it's like a relationship. It's constant, but it's beautiful when you have someone. It's like a friend that you got, like a best friend too. You look at it. Because your mentor, you gotta tell them stuff that you probably don't tell your friends. That's true. Because they can be older. You trust them to a certain extent. Not saying you don't trust your friends, but you created some type of bond. Mm-hmm. You feel it is safe to tell them that information, to whatever is going on in your life. But a mentor, truly, I mean, I don't know what I would do without them.
I would say life changing, like, and how valuable that is. And to the point where you are now mentoring.
Yes,
you are now mentoring young women. So the values and, the gift of that, because it's a gift. Mentorship, I really feel like it's a gift.
Oh, yeah.
When you're able to help guide someone's life in the right direction and helping them reach their dreams and reach their goals and get to where they want to, how valuable is it for you now being on the other side of, you're still receiving it, which is good, because I feel like we never stop learning, right? How valuable is it for you now being on the mentor to young girls? What are you learning from that experience?
Oh, I'm learning. This is the new generation, y'all. I feel like I didn't go through all the things they went through, but it's a whole new generation. But you know what? Honestly, I love it. Mm-hmm. I love the trust. I love the talks. They literally keep me young, and I'm not that old, but they do keep me young. I love the hard questions. They challenge me, literally. They ask me hard, but they make me think. They make me not go. We do journaling, and I have to be very transparent because someone was very transparent with me.
That's good.
And I think that having that transparency on both ends, it helps to continue to form our relationship.
Yeah.
Like I said, the young girls, this lifestyle that they live, not saying live bad, but it's very different.
It is.
School, middle school, high school. I'm like, I didn't go through that one. I'm not that much older than y'all, but I didn't go through that. And so I understand that this is just a new day and age. And the language is different. You're like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And that's when I feel, what? But,
I hear music. I don't listen.
I'm like, huh?
I'd be like, I clearly am older than you.
Yeah.
But it is so important, that connection.
Yes.
And I feel like definitely in our culture, in our communities, we need that.
Yeah.
We need, positive, strong Black men and women that's a way to give back. Even if you don't have millions of dollars, if you don't have thousands of dollars, your knowledge, your time, that influence will catapult someone to be the best version of themselves. And what that looks like, is powerful. And just when you're talking about that, I really, really, really commend you on doing that, because I know it's not easy. It's not easy. Talk about how difficult it is.
It is
for
difficult.
You.
It's difficult because you want to help a kid, but you don't want to break the trust. And sometimes you feel like, should I be having this conversation? Should you and your parent be having this conversation? And you don't want them to come to you and tell you stuff. And it's like, talk to your mom. That's a conversation you guys should have. And you don't want to break that relationship and feel like, trust me more than your own parent. You have to know when to say, I'll support you. I'll sit down with you. And we'll have that conversation with your parent together. Yeah. To be that support. But I'm not the person you need to be. You don't want to know. You have to I don't want that to break up your home at the end of the day and that bond that you have. So it's difficult in that aspect. And it's also difficult in just sometimes they're rebellious. The kids is like, no, I don't want to do that. You're like, well, I do everything for you. Like, I'm just trying to help you. Like, why? But I was rebellious. It's like, that was me. I didn't want to talk. I was like, girl, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, so you got about me alone. And trying to break that. That's difficult, trying to break that. Yeah. I'm just really here to help. Mm-hmm. Not to know all your business. They're like, I don't want to tell you that. Okay, that's fine. And just learning when to back up and also when to be silent.
That's good.
The difficulty for me was being silent. Like, okay, just listen. Mm-hmm. Don't offer no advice. Just listen. Let them go ahead. At first, they look at you like, what you think this is? No, I'm just listening. Yeah. That's it. Just go ahead and talk. I'm just listening. I think for me, that was difficult at first because I'm just like, okay. Well, I could tell you this. But
and that's where you see your career and your life overlapping, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's so great how our life comes in full circle, how our life kind of connects, and taking those moments to learn those things and to take them into different aspects of our lives to become the very best person that God intended for us to be. So I want us to drive that home, how important it is to have a mentor, and also to give back in a way of who are you sowing into? Mm-hmm. Whose life are you trying to make better? Because it's needed in our community. Yes, and seeing what they have to look up to from celebrities and all that stuff. It's like, no, that's not realistic. Like, we need realistic people on an everyday basis connecting to these young men and women. That's how we actually build our communities to what we want it to look like, what we want it to be. So in closing of all of this, I just want to end on your final outcome. The final chapter of Monique, what do you want that to look like?
No, it's still being written. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That is honestly my final chapter. I don't want to do my best chapter, y'all. But I just don't know exactly. And I want to be LCSW, work at Pat, and that's what I want. But it's still being written. Things can change every day.
That's good, because that means you're always open to try something new and to go for another goal and to go for another dream. No matter what, listen, you keep striving, you keep pushing. And I think that's important to say the chapters, it's still being written, because that means the possibilities are endless and that you don't have to put a cap. Let's take the caps off your life. Like, I know they say, well, no cap, I don't know whatever that ever means, but literally take the risk, and even when there's risks and stuff involved, take all of that out of your mind and say, I'm going to take all limitations off myself and be everything I know I can be. Like, I see that in you going for everything that you're going for. I see that with everything you talk to us about, just the things that you've aspired to do and gone after. It makes sense. Like, for you to say, hey, it's not been written. Let me just tell you, I'm still striving, I'm still growing, and I'm still going for goals. Yes. So that's what we want. That's what we want to do in our communities. These are the type of people that every single day you need to be looking up to. You need to be reaching out to and connecting with, because these are the people that really matter in our lives and really can touch us on a very intimate and close level. We have celebrities out there doing good, but we're not connected to those people. So to have people in our communities like you really doing things for the community, making change and wanting to make a difference is powerful, and it's needed, and it's never going to go away. That need is always going to be there. So let's make sure that we're always giving back. If someone wants to reach out to you and just talk to you, maybe they just see you on here and think, I want to talk to her. She has so much knowledge, so much information to give. Where can they reach you at?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's Princess Mo with 3 E's, okay?
We'll put it on. We'll put it below so that you can follow her, because you have so much insight. I feel like that you have so much wisdom to give, and there may be someone young out there thinking about college. You may be thinking about mentorship. You may be thinking about going into the same career Mo has gone into and where she's going. So if you want to connect to her, we would love for you to connect. Yes. Also, that you can reach out to us and we'll get you in touch with her if you can't find her, but we know that you will. So we really, really, really appreciate you, Mo, for coming and talking to us today. It was such a privilege and an honor to have you here today. We hope that you enjoyed. I know she dropped some gems and some information that I feel like is very powerful and uplifting, and that we all can learn and grow by in this community. So if you can just hit the like button, also subscribe, because you stayed this long. Clearly you like what's going on here. So you might as well subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you will not miss one upload. And we will see you soon. And okay, we know the world is crazy out here, but it's always the best idea to stay positive. To all our Black queens and kings out there, we want to say stay bold and stay bountifully blessed. Have a good one.
Have a good one.